there are some companies that wind up going through a transition like this, say UPS and others, where they'll put people in key roles, and the people who don't necessarily look like they're necessarily going to be anointed the next team don't leave. They stay. And there are signals that people are in trial roles. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have an opportunity. For example, that Harvey Schwartz and David Solomon stayed on while Gary Cohn looked like he was ahead of them in the lineup for a while. And then, of course, Gary Cohn went off to government, and it was clear he wasn't going to be Lloyd's successor. But you can see that there often are multiple candidates out there. And that's among the remarkable things about this succession, is that Lloyd is leaving at the top of his game. Of course, the firm is performing quite well, but he also has a good bench strength beneath him, which is fantastic. And that's sort of a model succession. They're groomed from within. They've gone through trial assignments. Harvey Schwartz did, I think, very well as CFO. Came in from J. Aaron as Lloyd did. But David, Solomon has gone through a lot of different trial assignments. And looked like
it's a signal they're going to change a little bit of direction, right? I mean, historically, CEOs have always come from the trading side of the biz over there, right? The most famous and well-known ones. And, and
I've
he's
heard
M&A.
that said.
Yeah, I mean, that's the conventional wisdom. Is it correct?
No, it's completely wrong, and people have been echoing that all day. I'm wondering, what Goldman Sachs are they talking about? It's true that John Corzine was a trader, and certainly coming in as a metals trader.
Started out as a commodities trader,
that's
Rubin was in trading.
That's true. How about Weinberg? How about Whitehead? How about Bob Rubin? How about Hank Paulson? I mean, the people who ran Goldman through most of his history were investment bankers, and somehow there's been a false information cycling around the markets today about describing the succession process. They've had two traders before. Now, this is not a culture shift that way.
When the race for the number two shakes out, how much turnover of that strong bench would you expect to see? And would it be, do you expect it to be higher or roughly normal with what you would expect at any company when you go through this kind of transition? I remember when GE chose Jeffrey Immelt, the other two who were in the running very quickly went on to variably successful careers, among other places at 3M, Boeing, Home Depot, among others.
That had been the way at GE, for good or bad, in his culture. The succession process was always a horse race. When Jack Welch got the job, the people he competed against, by the way, and he was a whole generation beneath the team that were the likely heirs apparent, they all left when Jack ascended to the throne.
So what will happen at Goldman? What do you expect will happen at Goldman?
At Goldman, it's more of a partnership ethic, even though they're not still a partnership. Now, the people have retired very young there historically because of in the past, the enormous wealth they had early on. They would leave early, whether or not they're being promoted or not. In this case, I think a number of these people will stay for a bit. But David Solomon's 54 years old. There's plenty of time on the clock here. So, it depends what age group we're talking about. If there are people who are, our age, Tyler, I think they might be looking to do other things.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.